Last weekend, I was scammed. My first reaction was disbelief, then anger, and then disappointment. So it went from what to how dare they to finally, I can't believe I fell for this. And honestly, I was disappointed in myself. So what happened? Saturday evening, I was in my kitchen making dinner when my phone rang. Now, for a little context, I had recently decided to become more active in church. I started joining some of the church group meetings via Zoom. So when my phone rang and a woman introduced herself as Sister Victoria from my church group, I did not immediately question it. She mentioned my pastor by name and said my pastor had asked her to reach out and invite me to a prayer meeting happening that evening, and that she would send me a Zoom link and a code to join. For a few minutes, I believed it. Now that got me thinking, how do intelligent people fall for scams? Because the truth is, scams don't just target careless people, they target human psychology. One of the biggest myths about scam is that they only work on people who are naive or uninformed, and that's simply not true. I mean, yes, some scammers do prey on naive victims who seem like easy targets, but in many cases, scammers actually prefer smart victims. Why? Well, because people who are smart, educated, financially stable, or professionally successful, they tend to have more resources. They have larger savings, better credits, and bigger investments. And from a scammer's perspective, that simply means there's bigger potential payoff if the scheme works. And that's why some of the biggest fraud victims in history were highly intelligent professionals. Take, for example, the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme scandal. Many of his victims were experienced investors and financial experts. So intelligence alone does not protect from scam. See, our brains are wired to trust, and as humans, we rely on this mental shortcuts to navigate the world. Accordingly, when someone sounds credible, mentions familiar names, or appears connected to authority we trust, our brain lowers its guard. So scammers might claim to work for the IRS, a bank fraud department, a tech support company, or even law enforcement. And in my case, the scam worked for a moment because it sounded connected to something familiar, something that sounded credible, church. Now, that sense of familiarity can make something feel legitimate when it's not. Another common tactic scammers use is urgency. Urgency disables logic, so they push you to act quickly before you have time to think. Now, when we feel rushed, the emotional part of our brain takes over and the logical part is replaced. So instead of analyzing the situation, we react in the moment. And that's exactly what the scammers are counting on. Because the moment you slow down, double check the information, or confirm it through another source, that scam most likely falls apart. The truth is, scams don't just succeed because people are foolish. They succeed because scammers understand how humans think. And even smart people have blind spots. Ironically, being intelligent can sometimes create overconfidence. And anyone, no matter how smart, can have a moment when something sounds believable. So sometimes the smartest thing you can do is always pause and verify.